Alright, we're here today. We got a 45 long Colt. This is a new model. That means it's got your transfer bar right here. That means the hammer don't rest right there on the primer of your cartridge. So we're going to be shooting some reloads today at the gong, which is right at 130 yards. It's about 2 feet by 2 feet wide. And we got some cartridges loaded with unique powder, 6.5 grains, 250 grain, hard cast lead. So let's see what we can do. Alright, it's been a little while since I've shot, but we're going to see what we can do. Oh, get all set up. Let's see what's happening with it. You might have to zoom in with that. Are you controlling it from your phone? What are you doing with your phone? You can control it from the phone, but I didn't know what you were doing. All right, let's see if this pistol's on, or if I'm on. Hit. Oh, I missed the last one. Always the last one, it seems like. But anyway, that's again 130 yards, and that's about 2 feet squared out there. That gong. It's a square. And it's rotated a little, so it looks like a diamond. I love that. I love that sound. And as you can see, boys and girls and boys, when you reload like I do, these cases here, these are Starline, which is, in my opinion, the best brass you can buy. When you reload these, you wanna use them. I've used these things 20 times until you'll start to see them crack around here when you tumble them in your tumbler, and that's mainly what you tumble them for. And you know, I've got a Lyman tumbler at home, and it you know, I have that, what's it called, walnut shell. It's got rouge, it's that red walnut shell with rouge on it, and it'll really get these things shined up where you can see any kind of crack in it, and that's the whole purpose behind that, and it makes them pretty too. But that's what, 6.3 grains, and this is 6.5 grains, and we're using unique powder. That's what Hickok 45 loves to use. I like power pistol better because it's not as dirty, but the new unique is not as dirty as the old unique, but it's still dirtier than power pistol. And this is again a Ruger Colt model single action army, and definitely the new model. You know, it's always good to have you a Black Hawk on hand. Always good. Let me blow my nose off camera. Alright, we're going to shoot standing up now. See what happens. Can you zoom in on that gong? Have you been zooming in? Does that have me on there right now? You might can zoom in on that gong. That's what I've been wanting you to do the whole time.
It won't zoom in anymore.
That's crazy if you hadn't shot in a while. Well, I'm sick too, so hey, I've got all the excuses I need. Ah, I think that's the worst I've ever done. Now that's going to have me wanting to do it over and over again right there now. Let's see if it's 2 grains of powder makes a difference on this. What is it again? 6 point, no, that's the 6.3, yeah. Sometimes just one grain of powder makes all the difference in the world, especially when you're doing long distance target shooting. It really makes a big difference. But and it does with these revolvers as well. The wind's blowing, as you can see out there. It's blowing pretty good to the right. You have it zoomed up on the gong. You don't have to do that every time, but let's see what we can do. I'm gonna focus a little more this time. I think it's shooting high. Can you tell where that's hitting? Looked like it was to the left almost. Okay, it was shooting low. It was shooting low. So I'm gonna make the adjustment on here, and I'm gonna bring it down a little bit. Obviously because it is shooting low. Now, sometimes that can have to do with the powder you're using, or how much or how less. If you have more powder in there, it's gonna be a little bit higher, because the more powder you have, obviously it's going to carry that bullet a lot quicker, and it's not going to be such a burden, therefore it won't fall as easily. These are loaded really light. Most people that aren't used to shooting would really like these. I loaded these for my son in particular because you know, they're real light, they're pleasant to shoot. You know, I've got some that I had in here when I came out here that I took out, And I had them loaded to 454 Casull status, which you're looking at about 1,100 to 1,200 foot-pounds of energy coming right out of the muzzle. And that's really not something you want to shoot out of a single action Army, be it a Colt, be it a Ruger. You just don't want to do it. Let's see if we can do a little bit better now that we know the gun is shooting low. I said it was shooting low, not high, right? Okay. That's it. It was that's definitely shooting low. I tell you what, I like these old cowboy guns like this. I got a friend, Jeff. He's got one like this. It's stainless steel. It's a 357. He didn't even know what it was. I told him, hey, that's a Colt, or it's a Ruger, but it's a Colt model, single action Army Ruger, and real fun guns to shoot. They kind of like I told old friend the other day. It's kind of like riding a horse. It sets you back in time, and. Yeah, it's really fun to shoot these old revolvers. Some people knock them. You know, I got a friend, Chip, who knocks them, but I tell you what, you know, they're fun to shoot. They're fun to reload. If you try to go out and buy ammo for them, good luck. But if you reload, I'll tell you this, you're going to save a lot of money. A lot of money. I think. Well, this right here holds 100. If I were to buy those right now, it'd probably be a little over $100. I can load 100 of them for, I'd say, maybe $10, something like that. Maybe something around there. That's with the brass already being purchased. But we're gonna move on to our next gun. Let's see what we have over here. My. I don't know about this thing. Hey, see if that's filming me, Jessica. That just looks mighty close for it to be able to get me. Is it? Are you sure? Why'd you flip it up?
Because my hand hit it, knocked it down.
Can you pull it back? Because it's like I'm about to trip over that. I don't see how that could possibly, in God's green earth, be filmed. All right, so now, all right, this is our first video, so we're getting a lot of the kinks out. But anyway, all right, so yeah, I'm in for a surprise. Does that have me? Mighty wide angle lens, good deal. We got the Model 500 50 caliber, the infamous Smith & Wesson. It's also known as the most powerful production revolver or handgun in the world, and it is very powerful. It's got a good kick to it. Hey Jessica, when I start to shoot the gong, is there any way you can zoom in on it with that? It won't let you zoom anymore? What happened? Did it break?
No.
Do you have a warranty on it?
It don't let you zoom.
Huh?
It only zooms so far.
Do you have it on full zoom? Well, maybe when I'm talking, you can get it off full zoom, and then when I go to shoot the gong, you can put it on full zoom.
It don't.
That's what I want you to do, please.
Don't make a difference.
So these are 400 grain bullets. You know, the bullet is, of course, what sits inside of the casing. The casing is this brass here, this brass part, This is 400 grain, so it goes down to about right here. And so we got a big hunk of hard cast lead in there, and that's perfect for grizzly bear protection as a secondary. Now for a first hand, I would say use a 12 gauge with some good slugs in it. A lot of the bear guides up there say they like to use in Alaska, they like to use what is it, the bird shot number 8, you know, because when they're running at you, you shoot and it pretty much blinds them, and then they back it up and continue and follow through with the slugs. I don't know. That's just what I've been told by people that go hunt up there a lot. I've never been, so I don't know. I would feel comfortable, more comfortable probably with a shorter barrel, one of these, because when a grizzly's charging at you up to speeds of 30 miles per hour, you want to be able to get this gun out quick and boom, because it's you or that grizzly. All right. Now these really kick hard and they hurt a lot, so this gun is not pleasant to shoot. It's not fun to shoot with these big 400 grain bullets. I have shot the 700 grain bullets, but the 400 seems to be the magic number because you have the right balance of powder and size in there to where it really hurts bad. The 700s aren't as bad because you cannot get as much powder, but this right here, this is the magic. This is the magic potion for, I would say, any kind of grizzly or black bear or any Tyrannosaurus Rex you might come across. All right, here we go. Let's see what happens. It'll get there a lot faster than that Colt 45. I'll tell you that right now. Y'all say a prayer for me. Woo! Did you see where it hit?
Nope.
Little high? That hit it right there. Yeah, I got it pretty good. Ouch. And I didn't say ouch to be funny. That did hurt. My word. That never gets old. This model 500, it holds 5 rounds as opposed to 4. Oops, we're missing one. But most of your revolvers hold at least 6. This is a Smith & Wesson, so we're gonna knock it over to this side because it actually, on the Smith & Wesson, they rotate counterclockwise as opposed to clockwise. And a lot of times what you get with these bigger revolvers, the big 460s, the 500s, the, you know, sometimes the 454s, is when you shoot, it'll actually knock the cylinder out of sequence because of the catch lever down here that catches these notches, because it's a little bitty thing, you know, compared to that big cylinder. You see that? That's a little bitty catch, you know, and you got a big cylinder here, you know, pushing mighty pounds, you know, over 2,000 foot-pounds. So, all right, here we go.
Hold on.
I don't suggest anyone when they when they close their revolver do like me, but rather do it smoothly and like that, because eventually what you'll do is you'll end up wearing the spring out on that catch lever right there, amongst other things. But let's try it standing up. You know, this is an excellent pistol to hunt with. You know, it's a little big for a whitetail. Some say no, it's not, and maybe not. But you know, it really is. I mean, you know, if you're shooting a whitetail at 200 yards with a scope, you know, it's pretty ideal. But 50 yards, you're going to do a pretty good bit of damage, depending on what kind of projectile you decide to use. Now, this hard cast lead would just simply go straight through it, and that's why they're so popular with grizzly bears. Because I was reading a story about a grizzly bear, and it was back in the 70s, and this park ranger was going to put one down, and he had a 30-06 soft point, and shot it right in the head, and it ricocheted off of the bear's head. It ricocheted off of the bear's head. The bear got up. It kind of woke it up and started running. So bullets make the difference. You know, the thing that sits on top of the case. The cartridge is the primer, the case, the bullet, the powder, everything combined is the cartridge. But if it's just you and your friends talking on whatever, you know, you can call them bullets. But let's just be cognizant that they're really called cartridges. Because I won't do it, but a lot of people will give you slack about that are in the know. Okay, now we're going to try shooting this thing standing up and see what happens. I'm telling you, it's not fun to shoot this gun, but I tell you, with a smaller grain bullet, you know, and you know, even more powder, it's a lot more pleasant to shoot. Even though you have a higher muzzle energy, you don't have that knockdown, which hurts your hand. It does hurt. So here we go. I'm going to shoot it free-handed and see what we can do. We're going to shoot it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hopefully by the time I'm finished, I still have all my fingers left. Man, if that was a buffalo, he'd have hit the deck. And the wind is blowing about 20 miles to the north right now. 20 miles per hour, that is. For it to get there, I tell you what, you're pushing a big 400 grain bullet at about what, 1800 feet per second, the way I have it loaded with this Ogden little gun. And that Ogden little gun is more stable, I say, than Ogden H110, and it has really revolutionized powder to get you a little more velocity. Boy, that gets there quick. I'm going to say it every time I hit it. I'm just having a lucky day, huh? Whew, this is the only one that'll have that thing swaying back and forth. I I think that's 5. Was that 4 or was it 5? Do you feel lucky? Or do you? Oh. Oh, thank God. Now I wish some of my my friends were here because they, you know, I'm a member of a group called Bear Country, and we've got some people in there. They like to shoot. It's an IG group, but I'd love for them to shoot this 500 Smith & Wesson. I think it'd be good for them. And then those little 22 AR-15s would be much easier for them to handle. Whew. All right, that's all I want to do with the 500. Unless you, Jessica, do you want to shoot it? Do you have it zoomed in on the gong?
As far as it'll go. As far as it will go.
Yeah. All right. Was it on wide angle? I think so, yeah. All right. And we do have a surprise. This is at a special request from he's the admin of our group, Bear Country, and his name is Christopher Lynn. And he's not big on revolvers because he doesn't own a revolver. So we had to get something that he had to make him feel more comfortable. And what we have here is a AR-15 M4 Bushmaster, one of the originals, not the cheesy ones. This is the good one. And if you'll look here, I don't know if you can see this, Huntsville, Alabama, USA, Bushmaster. And it's the XM15 E2S. And the kids have been playing around with this while we were practicing shooting. So let's see if it's on target, because I can hit pretty well with this, almost with my, anybody can. Very easy to hit your target with these. All right, let's see. All right. Here we go, fellows. We are shooting, I want to see if we're shooting 223 or 556. We're shooting 556. All right, here we go. It sounds like you're hitting a buffalo, like Boss Rutan used to say. If you're into MMA, it sounds like you're hitting a buffalo with a baseball bat. But these are really good guns. They're based off the M6. They're the civilian version of the M16. And of course, they're a lot more progressed than the original M16, which was a complete failure in a few wars, namely Vietnam, because everything in it was too tight. So you get a little sand in there, you don't have any wiggle room for your projectile, your case, and so on to move around. And so they're constantly breaking them down, cleaning them, and getting slaughtered by the most abundant gun in the world, which is the AK-47, which the North Vietnamese were using on them. But the Bushmaster, this one here is above mil spec, which I like. If you're gonna get one, I would recommend to get one at least mil spec, because if you go under that, you know, I mean, just say, if you can't save to get there, try to. It'll be worth it. Let's see what we can do. This is free-handed, and let's see what we can do on the old gong. Oh, I think that's a P-Mag. That's a Gen 2. I don't get all into that, but you know, they're all pretty much the same to me. This is a Gen 2. I like the camo version because eventually I'm going to get all these. I say I am Cerakoted, you know, camo. I just like them. All right, so here we go. We're going to try to see what we can do next here. And maybe we should shoot the little ones next. So, yeah, let's do that. And to get your bullet back where it needs to go, you just hit the lodging button right here and whoop, there it is. All right. Let's hit the little guys down there on the right. We got two little zombies down there. It's okay to say zombies, right? Here we go. That was the zombie on the left that just got hit. Let's shoot the zombie on the right. Do you have it zoomed in on the little zombies, Jessica, on the bottom right? And I know I've said it probably 2 or 3 times, but to reiterate, if you're just now joining us here at Bear Country, these targets are exactly 130 yards. So, you know, it makes it a little more difficult to hit the gong, which is about the same size as Hickok's, which, you know, Hickok 45. Great guy. I wish I had his sense of humor. His gong's right at 80 yards, but I've seen him shoot it with his 44 Magnum at 230 yards. So, so we're hitting these pretty well at 130 yards. Let's venture out to 200 yards to the little zombie fellow out there, and let's see if we can hit it. I don't know. You know, these cartridges in here, you know, we're using Tulamo. Some people, I used to call it tool ammo, but it's actually pronounced Tulamo. Ammo made in Russia. I've never had a misfire on my Bushmaster here. Watch me have about 5 today, but I've never had it misfire. So let's reach out 200 yards. You see the target way out there, and it's sitting down on the ground like someone has shot the chain off of it. So let's see what we can do here. We're in war. The zombies are coming at us, and we don't know what to do. What's that wind blowing? Now it's blowing from the north. No wonder it's getting cold. I'm gonna shoot the one at 300. Jessica, do you see the silhouette target out there at 300 yards? The white one?
Not on the GoPro.
Will the GoPro pick it up? It's at 300 yards. It's all the way back there, hanging from that red brace. I'm going to have to move it a little to the left with the wind blowing, well, to the right. Now it's blowing from the north, now it's blowing from the south. It's all over. I'm just going to shoot straight. I hit it. That was 300 yards. Open sights. Now, I'm not bragging on me, but it's just going to show everyone you don't need a scope, you don't need a hologram. You have to believe you can do it, because you can. It's not that hard with a mil-spec AR-15. So let's try it again. I can see it wobbling still with that little 5.56. Fire in the hole. Got it. This trigger, I'm telling you, I'm going to put it on safety. This is a perfect opportunity to discuss this trigger on here. Now, I love Bushmaster. They're a wonderful weapon. Have been tried and true. But, here comes the proverbial but. The trigger's got to go, okay? I'm going to have to get something like, I don't know if they make a Timney or a Jewel, I doubt it. Something compatible with this to where I'm pushing around. I don't want to go anything over a pound. I know that's a lot to ask, but on my Sendero at home, I'm shooting 1.5 ounces. So the lighter you can go, the better off you are, but it can be unsafe, I get all that. But about a pound is right for me, and it's really up to you. But okay, we're getting the one at 300, the one there at 200, it's off of the chain, so it's going to be virtually impossible to tell if you hit it. Let's go ahead and shoot the little, you can't even see it on camera, but there's a little plate right there between the two white zombies on the bottom right, to the right rather, of that diamond right there. Let me see if I can hit that. It's right in the middle. Oh boy, it turned around. Look at there. Maybe they have a swivel on it. That white one. Let's go for that gray one in the middle again. Yeah, it likes to twist and dance when you hit it. That's rapid fire on that big white one.
Hold on.
You ready? Woo! I smell sulfur and smoke. But that's what I like. Kind of set you back in time. But again, fellas, this is the Bushmaster AR-15, and you know, I have no problem with it at all. It's a very good weapon of choice, and I'm gonna let it cool off over here. But you know, if you want a good AR-15 platform gun, I haven't changed anything on it. I will change the trigger on it eventually. But yeah, I mean, they're hard to beat. I'm not saying you cannot beat them, but they're hard to beat. Let's do a little bit more shooting with the old. Well, before that, I take that back. I've got my Glock 45 automatic with me today, and it's never been shot, okay? So now is a good time to shoot it. And don't worry, this table is wood. It's not, you see a lot of good people putting their guns on concrete tables, but I like to preserve my guns best as I can, because I pay a lot of money for them, and I like to look at them. It's kind of like a baseball card. You want to keep it in mint condition, if that makes sense. Maybe it don't, but that's me. And I've got some good old Monarch cartridges. We'd like to thank Monarch for being one of our sponsors. No, I'm just kidding, but that's what I'm using today. Here we go. We're gonna try to hit the gong. I don't know where this thing's hitting at. It could be hitting to the moon. I may hit Uranus with it. I've got a buddy, speaking of Uranus, I got a buddy, he carries his gun right there at his anus. I said, man, you braver than I am, brother. All right, here we go. Let's see what happens. When you don't know where to aim, just shoot in the middle. Yep, it's hit right in the middle. And look at there. I caught my brass gangster style. A lot of you OGs will appreciate what I'm talking about. Woo, don't get too overconfident though. Let's shoot it again. Where am I hitting? High, Jessica?
It's like low.
Low? Yeah, you're right. I hit it that time. Yeah, I hit it that time. Now look at there, would you? You know, I like Glock, okay? Let me just say I like Glocks. They've been tried and true for many, many, many years. 1988, and don't hold me to it, it could have been 87. But I believe it was 88. Okay, they've been tried and true. And of course, I don't know how good this ammunition is, how old it is, and so on. But I'm going to tell you something. I've never had a jam on my Smith & Wesson M2.0 9mm. And on all of my Glocks, and I'm a Glock fan, so don't you Glock fans get mad at me, I'm a Glock fan. On all of my Glocks I've had jams. Now does that mean if I load it with premium ammo I'm going to have a jam? Or if I switch magazines? Or if I put a new guide rod spring in there? I don't know, I'm just telling you. The Smith & Wesson M2.0, I would trust it with my life. Sorry. Here we go. Oh, this little booger throwing me off. I guess it would help if I loaded it. Put one in the chamber there. You know, I've never to this day have had any luck without putting one in the chamber. Got it. And you know, you can tell the difference between this Glock 45 automatic. A lot of people confuse these and they call them 45 ACPs, which is totally wrong. That's the cartridge they shoot. But you'll notice my point is with these 45 automatics, when you compare them to a 45 Colt, you can tell the difference between the bang on the gong because you've got a little more muzzle energy coming out of that Colt. Now, with that being said, I'm going to do this. With this gun here, what I'm going to do is turn it into a 460 Roland. And what that's going to do, I'm going to replace the guide rod spring to a heavier spring. I'm going to replace the magazine spring to a heavier spring to where it puts that cartridge up into the chamber quicker, and put an aftermarket, probably a lone wolf barrel in there, so I'll have a tight chambering, because the last thing you want when you've got that powerful of a cartridge in there with the muzzle energy and velocities of a 44 Magnum is a loose chamber. But Glocks are made to be a little loose, so you know they could shoot with mud and grit and all this, that, and the other in them. But we'll get to that later on. Let's shoot these last few rounds before I talk you to do. I should have brought my other magazines with me, but I was just kind of messing around those last ones. Oh, those were different. I don't know. S&B. But we know these are Monarch steel case rounds for target shooting. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, a lot of people, in Alaska now, they're using the 10mm, the Glock 20, namely. Some use the 29 and for a quicker draw, you know, and put the Glock 20 mag in there with the little sure grip or whatever it's called. But I tell you what, if you want something with almost the equal power as a 454 Casull and a semi-automatic handgun, 460 Rowland is the way to go. And you can order the kit. I believe it's 460rowland.com. And there's other ways to do it out there. I know guys, you know, with the 45 Super brass you can get from Starline, which has a thicker webbing supposedly, and load it to the same, you know, powder specs and everything as the 460. But let me give you one piece of advice if you do that. Don't over crimp the cartridge, because if you do over crimp it, it's going to go too far into that chamber. Butterflies loving me today. Luckily it's not a horsefly. But it's going to go too far into that chamber, and what you're going to have is when that firing pin hits that primer, there's not going to be enough time, because what's going to happen is that being crimped, it's going to go too far into the chamber. The chamber's going to squeeze it too tightly right there at the crimp, and it's going to explode and cause what they call a kaboom on your nice Glock 21 or 20 or your 1911. Don't crimp the things. If you do, very, very, very light crimp, believe me. All right, here we go. I'm going to do this standing up. Look at there. That's some cheap ammo. That's not Glock. Now, if it was Glock, I would say, hey, that's Glock, but that's cheap ammo. So I'm going to tell you, Monarch, I'd put you in the same category as probably Blazer, and that's not doing very good. Get in there. Wow. All right, I'm gonna have to take it apart. Well, what's going on? Not unless it knocked the mag out. Mm-mm. Oh, you know what it is? I've got the heavy spring in there for the 460 Rowland. That's exactly what it is. So that was my fault. I was over here downing everything I could but me, and that was me having the wrong spring in there. So let's see what we can do next. Let's see if that'll fix it. I kind of readjusted everything. Nope. I don't know why that wouldn't have anything to do with anything at all. Brand new guns, never been fired until today. Should fire there. Got it. Well, next time I come, I'll remember, folks, to take my 460 Rowland spring, guide rod spring out of there, recoil spring, whatever you want to call it, and put my Gen 4 Glock 21 spring in there, which is really a one-piece spring. I don't have any problem with those, but I do like the Gen 3 springs like this, because you simply take your little Allen wrench and you can put whatever pound spring you want on there. And so if you're shooting really light rounds, you want a really light spring on there. If you're shooting really hot rounds, you want a really stiff spring on there. And so that's the whole concept of buying this conversion kit for this Gen 4, is to have the opportunity to put a heavier spring on there where I can shoot, you know, at energies of, you know, around 1,200 foot-pounds is what I'm shooting for. No pun intended. You know, about 1,200 foot-pounds, and that right there makes a 10 millimeter look. It makes it look like a little 22 pistol, almost. I mean, there's no comparison. I don't care what you research. I don't care what you see on YouTube. If you put a hot 460 Roland up against even a Buffalo bore double tap 10 millimeter, it's gonna lay it in the. It's like putting it up against a 454 Casull. There's no comparison. This is state-of-the-art technology, and I'm glad it was invented. You can load a 10 millimeter hot too, but not that hot, okay? And plus, with a 10 millimeter, you got a 40 caliber bullet. With a 45, you got a 45 caliber bullet, so it's a big difference there. Kind of like the 40, you know, that's just a neck down. They just pretty much chopped the 10 millimeter in half and said, "Here, ladies, here's your gun." You know, I know I'm probably going to get some comments in the comment section about that, but you know, oops, look at me. I get on my 40 kick and get nervous, get all shaky. No, I'm kidding. No, but you know, seriously, you know, I've got a good friend of mine, and he said, you know, the guns were, you know, a little awkward. He said, but you need one. You know, and I agree with that. You need one, because you never know if there's a zombie apocalypse. You may run up on a big pile of 40 ammo. And I tell you something, if you don't have a 40 caliber silly boy gun, silly girl gun, whatever you want to call it, you can buy the conversion barrels for like at home. Let's say I've got a 357 SIG Glock. Now that's not a 357 Magnum. That's a cartridge that was invented by Sig Sauer, and it's a 40 caliber case neck down to a 9mm, and it's got the velocity, and it hits hard. And you'll look through YouTube at all these people that are really uneducated on the 357 SIG, and they say it's useless. But the velocity that joker has right there, I mean, people hunt with them. Roy Weatherby had it right. Velocity equals damage. Velocity simply means a measurement of speed in regards to, you know, armament, guns. So, you know, that's a very good gun. I got off on the rabbit trail there about the 357 SIG, but you can buy 40 caliber conversion barrels if you don't want to go through and buy the 40 caliber pistol. But you can buy them for little or nothing, and there's a reason behind that. But yeah, I enjoyed shooting it for the first time. I'm going to take it home and clean it. I don't really feel like shooting it again because I didn't bring any preloaded magazines with me. I may shoot these last couple rounds. Really try hard to hit the gong, and let's see if I can hit it. It's harder to do with a shorter barrel like this. And the reason is the sight radius on the barrel. Now the gun's no more accurate than a little SIG P365. You know, if you were to put it in a press or a machine. But as to a person using it, this one's going to be more accurate because it has a longer sight radius, and that means you can look through it there, and you know, you got a little wiggle room to move a touch without it being detrimental to your shot placement. All right, here we go. I said we can hit it 2 times. This wind is really blowing, but we got a 45 caliber slug, so it shouldn't really matter. Got it. See if we can hit that last time. Hey, 1 out of 2 ain't bad. I'm glad I got it one time, to be honest with you. But there we go. 45 automatic. We got the surprise for Chip over there. The let me go get it. It's the that's unloaded. We got it cocked. But I'm gonna take these off. My wife, she likes to use the electronic ones, the nice ones. I don't care. I grew up shooting without them, to be honest with you. I think that's what's wrong with me. But we got the 45 automatic. We got the Bushmaster AR-15. We've got the 45 Colt. And last but certainly not least, we have the 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum. Now this is a hoss. If there were dinosaurs on the earth today, I would not feel undergunned having this against a T-Rex. I really wouldn't. I mean, there's been elephants killed with these. Think about that. But yeah, that's what we have today. It's just a kind of a smorgasbord in guns, and we weren't here long, and hoped I could pass on some information that I know. And we'll see you next time on Bear Country. And good to see y'all. See you next time. Row.